Hare Krishna. So we will begin first with singing. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jayo Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari, Jayo Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari, Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana, Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana, Jamuna Tira Vanachari, 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 Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. You only have a flip chart? Flip chart? Yeah. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurudmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. My respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are like desire trees, fulfilling desires of everyone, and who are oceans of mercy. Tam Srimad Krishna Chaitanya Devam Vande Jagat Gurum Yasyanukam Payashavi Mahavim Santaretsukam. Another verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the spiritual master of the whole world, Jagat Guru Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by whose grace even a small dog can cross a big ocean very happily and easily. Yasya prasadadagyapi sadhya sarvagyatam vrajet sa Shri Chaitanya Devame Bhagavan Samprasidatu. May Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, be fully merciful unto me. By His grace, a complete fool can get all knowledge in one moment. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So welcome to the next session of our Isopanisad. Dear movable and immovable living entities who are pervaded by the Supreme Lord. Very good, thank you. Let us chant our one-word invocation of auspiciousness. What is the one word that the mantra repeats many times? Purnam. Purnam means complete, perfect, yes. So do you have the mantra? Shall we? Maybe I can open from, or you will know. Do you? Okay. So hopefully you already know it, but if not, let's chant together. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vasishyate. Om Santi Santi Santihi. Okay, so He is perfect, and this is perfect, and from the perfect comes perfect, and even so many perfect and complete full things are coming from the perfect. He still remains perfect. Hare Krishna. And we also have our Ishavasyam, which is describing the full reality, and it's the full Isopanishad in one very short mantra. It describes also this universe, idam, so this universe, what we see immediately in front of us, it mentions the Lord, Isha. It says that everything is pervaded, avasyam, so Vasudeva is connected to this, Isha, Vasyam, avasyam. He is pervading everything. And it also gives us some hint about our consciousness. Let us repeat this verse, because these are the two verses that are necessary for the exam. Excellent. Om Ishavasyamidam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagad tena tyaktena bunjidha magrida kasya svidanam. Okay, so everything is owned and controlled by the Lord. So therefore, taking what's given by Him as our quota, we should not desire anything else. There is a fancy commentary by Bhakti Thakur, Tyaktena. Tyaktena means, Tyakta means given, yes? But Tyakta is very similar to another word you may remember from the Bhagavad Gita, Tyaga. Tyaga means detachment. And because it says Tyaktena means with giving up. So it can mean take, but be not attached. So take it with detachment. And Bunjita, some translations will give as enjoy. This is something you do not hear very often in our Hare Krishna temples. Yes, enjoy. This is like a total taboo. What's wrong with you? Why are you smiling? How dare you smile? Sorry. I heard even sometimes that I smile too much and I joke too much, which is probably true. I'm working on it. I'm working on smiling less and joking less, and other people also are working on it. We are working on making me smile less. It will come to that gradually. So, in other words, that's the comment by some of the teachers. Tyaktena bunjidha. Enjoy, but with detachment. Enjoy, but with detachment, which is probably, a contradiction in terms. Usually, if I enjoy, I enjoy, and if I'm detached, I do not touch it. So it's a paradox. It's one of the paradoxes. It's one of the difficult paradoxes of yoga. That's why any yoga is so complicated. This is why Krishna says that this art has been lost, because on one hand it says enjoy, on the other hand it says be detached. So we know, normally just one thing: either I enjoy or I don't touch, right? We do not know two. That's the normal position. If I worked, and if there are fruits, and the fruits come as a result of my activity, then whose fruits are they to enjoy? Well, isn't that obvious? They come, I worked, they come, they are mine. Right? And if they say, okay, you should not have any fruits. No fruits belong to you. The fruits are not yours. Then why should I work? I will not work. Right? This was the problem with the communist societies, right? With all the communist societies. If it's not mine, and if my work does not influence the results, why work? Yeah, so the joke was that we pretend we work, they pretend they pay, and we pretend we work. So everybody pretended they do something. Or, we have slave societies where slaves, somebody has to drive them because, why should they work? It doesn't matter. They work, they don't work, it doesn't change their life much. Yeah. Recently somebody asked me, okay, why you could pay the different amount, you can pay more, right? Why do you have to allow private property? But I think somebody said that for the girls it will be easier to understand. For women it's easy to understand. If the house is yours, you feel inspired to decorate and improve it. I think for everybody it's easy to understand, right? If it's yours, you will invest. If it's yours, you will have amazing ideas. Recently I was with my friend and he went to the attic and he looked there, he said, you know what? If we remove this and if we can create we can create a 2-level flat. You know, I never had this idea because it's not mine. I didn't even think in this direction because why bother? You know, it's just some building. But if it's yours, you think how to make it better. You are invested. My Guru Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, would sometimes say that property turns sand into gold. Right? If it's yours, it's gold. And you value and you try to improve. Anyway, so this is the normal mentality. You know, if it's mine, then I enjoy. And if I cannot enjoy, why invest? Right? So this is why yoga is so complicated, because you work to the best of your capacity, but you're even enjoying, you know, we are told you enjoy, but we want to be detached. We want not to be attached. Sometimes it's even, you know, we have to live in the temple for, you know, 5-10 years before we realize, oh, yoga is not just only what I do with my hands, but actually yoga, the spiritual life, spiritual progress happens with what I do in my heart, with my consciousness, right? If I, in my heart, decide, Krishna, it's for you, then this is yoga. Not that I think about collecting strawberries to enjoy, and here with my hand I offer something. That's very pious, and this is very helpful. But actually, this is when I offer in my heart. When I decide, okay, it's for you, Krishna, this is for you. This is where yoga is happening. When I do it in my heart. Otherwise, we offer with my hand, and then we think, what's wrong with the process? Where's my progress? I've been offering with my hands for 20 years, and still my heart is dirty. Well, did I offer in my heart? What does it mean, offer in my heart? No. Should I try? Yes, let's try. So this is where yoga begins. Even karma yoga, forget bhakti, even karma yoga. Tyaktena and bunjida, you work, but you don't work. This is a paradox of yoga. Yoga karma sukhaushalam, Krishna says in the 2nd chapter of the Gita. Yoga is the art of work. The art of work is you work, but you do not become attached. Any questions here? So, after this verse, Krishna says, Kurvan neveha karmani jijivishat chatam samad. This way, if you work this way, you can live forever, no problem. For hundreds of years, Krishna says. The Upanishad says. You can live for hundreds of years and it's fine. Do not try to live less, live more. You can even desire to live more. Jijivishat. One can desire 100 years of life. Turns out it's not so many. I think in the world there is something like several dozens of thousands of centenarians, people who live to 100 years of life. Not so many still. So full life. Basically, it means full life until you reach perfection. And on the other side, if we, on the other hand, and on the other side, okay. Asurya nama telo. If we do not pay attention to spiritual life, atmaha, we become atmaha. We kill not even it's suicide, killing the self. And then the destination is dark. Andhena tamasavrita. The destination is dark if we neglect the self. If we neglect the true self, neglect self-realization. So these were the first 3 verses. The Ishavasya principle, God-centered principle, the first part. Then work like this, in this, give up and enjoy. Clear? Alles klar? Renounce and enjoy. Yes? Very clear. Okay. And then, if like this, you can live happily for a long time. If not, if we kill the soul, if you kill the self, then dark places. If we do not if we do not engage ourselves in spiritual life. Is it me or is it both? Is it? Okay, now we are moving to mantra 4. So we have spoken about Isha. So who is this Isha? Who is this Lord? So that's mantra 4. I hope you have your books. You have your books? Okay. That's mantra 4. Anejadekam manaso javiyo naina deva apnuvan purvamarshad tadhavatunyanatiditishtat tasmin apomatarishva dadati. Although fixed in his abode, the personality of Godhead is swifter than the mind and can overcome all others running. So immovable, he runs faster than those running. Without running, he runs faster. Sounds cool, huh? The powerful demigods cannot approach him. Although in one place he controls those who supply the air and rain, he surpasses all in excellence. And most things in Isopanisad come in twos, like double verses. Everything is repeated twice. So this one is longer, Aneja Deka Manaso Javiyo. And then mantra 5 says the same thing in a more sharp way. Tade jati tannai jati tadure tadantike tad antarasya sarvasya tadu sarvasyasya bahyataha. The Supreme Lord walks and does not walk. He is far away, but he is very near as well. He is within everything, and yet he is outside of everything. So he is in the heart, but he is outside. So that's his power. Krishna can do this. So two similar verses. Yes, he moves and he doesn't move. He walks and he doesn't walk. So that's quite contradictory. These are contradictions on one hand. On the other hand, Prabhupada says that it describes clearly describes a person, because it says he walks, he's inside. We have this also in the 3rd canto, that he is very far from the demons. When Hiranyaksha tried to embrace Varaha, when Hiranyakashipu tried to fight our Nrisimhadev, then when Hiranyaksha tried to capture Varahadev, he put his arms around Varahadev, and as soon as he put his arms around Varahadev, he saw that Varahadev is outside. He's not there, right? So why? Because, Krishna, he's beyond space. He's beyond every point of space. He can be inside and outside. But for a devotee, Prabhupada says he agrees to be present in a little box. So sometimes devotees will travel with the Shalagram Shilas, and Krishna agrees, okay, I will be with you. I will be with you and I will travel with you. I will even be in the box for you. No problem. I can be with you in a box. Just to be nearby. So Krishna is close. So if you have devotion, Krishna will be close. If you don't have devotion, it doesn't matter how close I am. It doesn't matter where I look for him. Hiranyakashipu even went to one Vaikuntha within this universe, and he couldn't find Vishnu. He didn't see Vishnu there, obviously. Or when Hiranyakashipu, when Ravana went to Sutala to ask his far relative Bali Maharaj for help, he didn't see Vamanadev guarding the door, because he doesn't have spiritual vision. Of course, he got kicked by Vamanadev, and he was flying far away, because Vamanadev didn't show himself, but he kicked him away. So there are some stories about it. Somebody had, yes.
You're wrong, I didn't read now all the mantras, but actually it's never really written the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Prabhupada translates it like this?
It starts Ishavasyam, Ishavasyam. So this very beginning, that's why it's called Isopanisad, because it begins with Ishavasyam. So Isha means the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Yoga Sutra by Patanjali, it is one of the principles. It's repeated 3 times. Patanjali repeats it 3 times. Now, our Garuda Prabhu Professor Graham Schweik, he's been asked by the Yale University Press to prepare a Yoga Sutra translation, and he's preparing a new Yoga Sutra. No, just now. It's probably coming in November. He's just finished now. He's doing some comments. So he tries to show that the whole Yoga Sutra is devotional, and it is best understood in Bhakti. And it's true, because Patanjali says that Ishvara Pranidhanat, he makes it one of the 5 main principles, surrender to Ishvara. Surrender to Ishvara. And some yogis, they say, well, Ishvara, yes, but Ishvara means like, this like the power within you, it's like you, but somewhere deep inside, okay? So, no, this is not what Patanjali says. Patanjali says, Ishvara Purusa Vishesha. Ishvara is a person, and he is a different person. Karma klesha parimrishta, never touched by karma. I'm touched by karma very much. He's never touched by karma. He's the guru of all the gurus. I'm not, forget about it. And he is, his sarvagyat niratisha, his omniscience is unequaled. There are some yogis who know everything. But Krishna knows everything. Because a yogi may know everything here or in this universe, but they don't know everything in all the universes. But Krishna knows everything, even everything, and more. He really knows everything. So that's never. So that's what Patanjali himself says. So that's Isha. So therefore, he gives the definition. Yeah, these several things he says, and he says. Tasya Vachaka Pranava, Om is the name of God, of this Ishvara, and he says, Tad Japa Tadartha Bhavanam, you should do the Japa of the name of God, meditating on Him. This is the best. So, that's Ishvara. So this is the beginning, and therefore, you can see that we have 5 commentaries, and every commentary gives very clearly show. Even we have Shankaracharya's comment on this Isopanisad, and even there he can't go against this, because it begins Isha, and throughout it speaks very clearly. At the same time, Bhaktivinoda Thakur points out that Upanishads like to speak in such a way. They say, for example, Atma, and Atma means both the soul and the super soul, because the Upanishads have to speak in a little esoteric way, such that because it's for the super intelligent people. You have to make it a little difficult. Make it a little, so that they have to figure out, this is about Jiva and this is about God. So they have to engage their intelligence to understand. But the acharyas, we have almost in every sampradaya, we have commentaries on this. In our sampradaya, we have several commentaries. We have Madhva's commentary, we have Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary, we have Srila Prabhupada's commentary. There was a commentary by Baladev Vidyabhushan, but it so far has not been found. We have one devotee looking all around India. He has found already several lost books that were considered lost by the acharyas. So he has found them, and one by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and some by Baladev Vidyabhushan. So maybe, if you pray, maybe he will still find Baladev Vidyabhushan's comment on it, on Isopanisad. Okay, good. So even though it doesn't say clearly that this is the Supreme Lord, but it says Tat. Tat also is a famous name of God. Tat, that means like in the Gita, Om Tat Sat, we say Om Tat Sat. So these are famous names of God. But they are very soft, like on the street, sometimes you sell a book and you don't say immediately, this is about Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But we say, there are some wise things that can help you in life. Oh, really? What is that? Well, there is some supreme friend, power. Oh, okay, what is this? So we try to, be very soft and gentle. So Isopanisad also does it, because it tries to gather different camps. Okay. But of course, that's why Srila Prabhupada begins by speaking about the Vedic literature, and begins by speaking about Srimad Bhagavatam, which makes things very clear. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All right. So mantra 4 speaks about Krishna walking and not walking. So he's not walking and walking at the same time. And others are running and they cannot. So others are running, but he is still faster than those who run. Yes? So doesn't matter how others are running, he's still faster. We have this Brahma Samhita verse that sages can think about God and for thousands of years with the speed of mind. Mind is very fast. You can think India and you can immediately think about India. But Krishna is faster than that. So they cannot catch the Lord. We have this of course also with Krishna, how somebody was running and couldn't catch Krishna, who was just walking very leisurely. Who? There was one demon who couldn't catch. He was running after Krishna. He was running, and Krishna was just walking, and he couldn't catch him. And then Krishna entered a cave. Muchukunda, yes, Muchukunda. Well, Muchukunda was in the cave, but who was the Kalayavana? He was running after. There was one Kalayavana trying to catch Krishna. Krishna was just walking, and he was walking faster. Whereas in Vrindavan, we have the cowherd boys also running after Krishna. So we know that the gopis complain that when the eyes blink, they can't see Krishna for this moment. Did you notice how your eyes are blinking today? Did you notice? I didn't. It's the first time I think my eyes are blinking. But they notice. For them it's too much. So that's for the gopis. And for the boys is when Krishna is behind a tree. So they go for a picnic, and sometimes he's somewhere ahead and he's behind a tree. So 1 second, half a second, they don't see Krishna. And for them this is the same feeling of separation. There are several higher levels. There's prema, love of Krishna. After prema there is pranaya, intimate trust. Then we have mana, some maybe quarrel with Krishna. Then sneha, the heart is completely melting. And then there is raga and anuraga. This is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So raga and anuraga, this is when 1 second seems like ages in separation with Krishna. So that's the definition of some of those higher levels. So after prema, after full love of Krishna is developed, all the fun only begins. So there is more and more and more and more. There's more levels. So the gopas, the cowherd boys, when they go out with Krishna, then for a moment they don't see Krishna, and sometimes they run to catch Krishna. And it says, aham purvam. In the Bhagavatam 10th canto, it describes that when they catch Krishna, they say, I was the first to touch Krishna. And it's repeated 2 times, aham purvam, I'm the first. So some acharyas are saying that different boys touch Krishna and different boys say, I am the first. So some acharyas are saying that actually Krishna allows several boys to be the first. So Krishna can avoid being caught. Even Hiranyaksha tries to embrace him and he's not there. And Kalayavana is trying to run after Krishna and he cannot catch up. And for the boys, even different boys simultaneously can catch Krishna. Jai Narasimhadev ki jai. Prabhupada Narasimha ki jai. So for us, when we read about the different pastimes, then these are some illustrations of what the Isopanisad is describing. But for a non-devotee, this may be not so easy to understand. So Prabhupada speaks about his abode, Goloka. So immediately he's fixed in his abode. So Prabhupada says Goloka, the supreme planet of the spiritual sky, Goloka. He speaks about the different energies. So there are internal, marginal, and the external energy. So Ishavasyam, Idam Jagat. I don't remember. Did we do the 3? What did we study? Yes, we didn't. So this is Sambandha Gyan. There are three three main tattvas that everybody knows they exist. So they are basically Isha, or God, or the Lord. How shall I say it? I'll write God, right? God. There is the soul, the self, or consciousness. In Sanskrit we say chitta. If I say chitta, will it be clear if I say chitta, consciousness? Bewusstsein, the soul. Let me write jiva. You want jiva, right? These are different ways. Usually this is chit, achit, and ishvara. Let me just, chit is a famous one, right? Chit is spirit, right? And this is achit. Achit. Chit, achit, and ishvara. So spirit, dead matter, and ishvara. Ishvara, the Supreme Lord. So, even a child knows that, there is me. If you pinch me, I feel, yes. There is something that even the child knows. This I can throw. And it gets thrown, no problem. Some things I cannot throw, but some things I can throw. So that's obviously achit. It's matter. And then there is mommy coming and says, don't throw anything. Okay, there is supreme higher control. Yes, so something that's, or something is that stops me or feeds me, or so many things. So even a child knows that there is chit, achit, and some higher power. First mommy, then other things. It's always there. And only Vaishnava philosophy explains all three. Because everybody else, like the materialists say that only matter exists, I is some weird combination that appeared by chance, that matter becomes conscious. How does it never happen before? But anyway, somehow it did. So the spirit consciousness does not exist, and God is my fantasy. So basically they say only this exists. The impersonalists, they say that, okay, only God exists, or maybe maybe we are together. Anyway, only I exist. This is some dream, some illusion, and God maybe also is illusion. Basically, only I exist, right? So both materialists and these nice spiritualists, they deny some parts of reality, and only devotees, they say, yes, there is I, the soul, there is matter, material energy, external energy, and there is spirit, the Supreme Spirit, who is the source of everything, who controls everything. So this is Sambandha Gyan, this, the triad, the mystic triangle, as Purnachandra Maharaj would call it. And of course, in the Gita, we also say that we are connected to this through karma. These are the 5 truths of Vedanta, or 5 truths of the Gita. Soul, and this is matter. Matter. And Krishna controls all matter through time, and we also know that we become Purnam, perfect and free, through Bhakti, devotional service, reconnecting with the source. So, very clear. And if we just try to enjoy, we are in trouble through karma. But if we give it to him and enjoy, as Isopanisad says, through bhakti, offer to Krishna, collect it for Krishna, do it for Krishna, and then he will leave something, don't worry. Then everything works out very well, as you know from tasting Mahaprasadam. So this is if you know this, basically, you know this, you know everything. Hare Krishna. So this is what Isopanisad is saying. Ishavasyamidam sarvam. Everything movable and immovable is owned and controlled by the Lord. So therefore, do not take what's not yours, but give it to him, tyaktena, and then what he allows you, that you enjoy. Then everything is nice. If you act like this, live for 100 years happily, right? And who is he? He's the one who is not moving, but moving faster than everybody. So also not moving means he's beyond time. So he's not controlled by time, but he controls time. And that's one comment by Madhvacharya. He's beyond also fear. He's not afraid of everything. He controls everything else. Yeah, so so that's he says doesn't move means he's not shaken, right? So we are shaken by time. Time shakes us, and you know how time shakes you. How time shakes you. You know yourself, right? But he's not shaken by time. Krishna is never shaken by time. So that's a comment by Madhvacharya on this verse, that he's not shaken. So therefore, he's not under, he's above. Yes, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna. Does Krishna say in the Bhagavad Gita that he is the all-devouring time?
Kalosmi lokakshaya krit parita. Yes, he says. But that's one aspect of him. When Arjuna is wondering, should I fight or should I not? And he's asking, can you show me the universal form? So Krishna shows him different aspects of the universal form, and then finally he shows him the military edition, the battlefield military edition of the universal form, where he eats all the warriors on the opposing side. And then Krishna specified, okay, we will win. All right, so I should. Then Krishna says, fight. I have already killed them. You just become my instrument. So that's 11th chapter, verses 32, 33, where Krishna says it. All right, so Srila Prabhupada says here, so he speaks about, Srila Prabhupada speaks about different energies, says that they are present everywhere. So through energies, Krishna can achieve many things. And then here Prabhupada says that this fourth mantra of Shri Isopanisad very clearly suggests that the absolute truth is ultimately the absolute person. Otherwise, there would have been no need to mention so many details in support of his personal features. Why would you say that he runs? Dhavato, yeah? So he's running. he's sending also the rains and winds. Small particles are never equal to the whole. Therefore, they cannot appreciate the Lord's full potency. So just reconnecting with the Lord. Then he says, Srila Prabhupada says, every part and parcel of the complete whole is endowed with some particular energy to act according to the Lord's will. Congratulations, you have been endowed with a particle, with some particular energy to act according to the Lord's will. Hare Krishna. How do you feel when you hear this? Where is it? How much of that energy do I have? Really? What is it? How do I act? On the other hand, Prabhupada says this does not mean that the individual soul has no initiative of his own. So again, this is these two things that seem to be contradictory. That we are all engaged in Krishna's plan, right? So that's part of Krishna. We join Krishna's plan, but this is also our initiative. It's just like in a country, if you have some state, they will have some number for how many policemen they need, how many soldiers they need, how many teachers they need. So they already have some quota. So many of such people, so many of these people, so many of those people. But it doesn't mean that you don't have a choice, right? You still have a choice. You can go here, you can go there, you can. It's still your choice. And then you join the bigger plan. So that's one way to explain how it's combined, these two things. To act according to the Lord's will. So we have energies, we have also from before, we have our desires. So according to our desires, we will be also given some talents. Oftentimes we see that our talents are coming early, and so many devotees from very early. I can ask you, who was trying and experimenting with fasting and diets before Krishna consciousness? Usually it's very many people, yes? At least you. Of course, now it's even more popular to become a vegetarian or a vegan, or some kind of abstain. Who was investigating and very interested in philosophy? Who was looking for some answers? What's the truth? What's the highest? Yes. Who was looking for some ideal code of conduct? Some rules that make your life perfect. How to find some principles. Yeah? Sometimes some of us were looking. Okay, what are the best principles? What are the highest principles? So you can see, basically, you continue your yoga path from before. Otherwise, why would you do this? Why should I look for rules? Who, in their sane mind, will look for rules, right? Then, as we rebel, we think, why did I look for rules? But no, there are. Everything has some rules or laws. If you know the laws, then you can live in a healthy way. So usually we continue. Some of us will be attracted to, from childhood. Somebody is attracted to music, to mathematics, to languages. Some languages will come easy to us in this life. So we see that a lot of things we started before we continue in this life, especially yoga. Especially yoga is something that is very deep and therefore can be continued from life to life. And then we can use it according to Krishna's will in his plan. Dovetail it according in his plan. Okay, so then in the next verse, in mantra 5, Prabhupada says that ordinarily, if someone can walk, it is illogical to say he cannot walk. Right? If you ask about a kid, so does she walk? Yes. So can you say she doesn't walk? Well, sometimes she walks, sometimes she doesn't. But, not at the same time. But in reference to God, such a contradiction simply serves to indicate his inconceivable power. So this is one of the important questions. Why do we need these contradictions? To show his inconceivable power. One of the powers of the Lord is to combine the opposites. He can harmonize the opposites. That's one of his shaktis. He can combine the opposing things. I remember when before I read the Bhagavad Gita, which was given to me by Tota Gopinath, who sings nice kirtans and whom you know, some of you know. He loves to come here. That's one of his favorite places in the universe, Simhachalam. He likes to come to pray to Nrisimha and sing kirtan. He might even be there in the, I don't know, may happen. Online, looking. So he gave me the Bhagavad Gita and I read and I was convinced and it was very powerful, it was amazing. It's a long story how he gave me the Bhagavad Gita and I was reading and it was extremely helpful. And then I even started already practicing. I even started chanting Hare Krishna. I even decided, okay, that looks like the best process, but I had a doubt. Is Krishna actually the absolute truth? What if he's just the top boss in the universe? I don't want just the supreme boss, I want the absolute truth, who is transcendence, complete transcendence, Purnam, who is beyond the boss, who is higher even than the boss, right? Because we have the top boss, like Lord Brahma, right? He's the boss, but he's not transcendental. Sorry, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, our Brahma is transcendental as a devotee, but as the position, in terms of the position, he is very exalted, but he is still here, on this side. He's not outside the material world. He's not beyond. And then I remember when I was reading these, especially these things, in the 13th chapter of the Gita, we have a very similar passage where it also says, Krishna says, I'm inside, I'm outside. I am distributed everywhere. And I'm the light of everything. So also these contradictory things. I'm far and I'm very close. Very similar to this mantra. I'm very far and I'm very close. So these things started convincing me. Aha, he can combine the opposites. So he's not just the top good, the top power. He's not just the top boss. He's beyond plus and minus. He's beyond the good and the bad. He's transcendental. And then one friend gave me the Krishna book, and I read how the Supreme Lord Krishna goes to the neighbors to steal butter. And sometimes he cannot steal the butter. And when he can't steal the butter, okay, don't say it very, it's a secret, but if he cannot steal the butter, he urinates on the floor and pinches the babies. So then I thought, oh, this cannot be just goodness. This is not goodness. This must be transcendental. It's too contradictory for an, just, it's not that he's just the top boss. He must be absolute transcendence, because that's too far out. I don't think Lord Brahma does it like this. Not even, I think, Vishnu and Narayan do like this. It must be only Krishna. Only Krishna does something like this. That convinced me. So these contradictions, they convinced me. And Isopanisad brings them here to indicate. We have even some, so this, even to describe even the impersonal truth, even the Buddhists, to describe transcendence, they engage in koans or gunan. These are riddles, the special riddles. How do you say riddle? In Rätsel, yeah, the Rätsel. Yeah, the special riddles, like what was your name before they gave you a name? Yeah, or how do you grow a goose from an egg inside a bottle and then get the goose outside the bottle without breaking the bottle? Think about it. Or how do you, anyways, there are many riddles like this. So they're contradictory. They don't have a logical solution. They only have some, you have to go beyond the duality. They are supposed to push you beyond the duality. So this here also is there to indicate. We even have, in terms of mathematics, sometimes we speak about mathematics. Anybody studies mathematics here, likes mathematics? There was one Kurt Gödel from Brno, now in Czech, Austrian. He was the friend of Einstein. In 1931 and 32, he came up with a Completeness Theorem. It's a far out theorem that if axioms are if the axioms do not contradict each other, then the system is incomplete. And if the system is complete, means you can explain everything, then at least two axioms will be contradictory. Axiom is like, A equals B and B equals C means A equals C. That's the basic mathematical truths. So it's the same thing. If you want to describe a complete thing, there will be contradictions. Again, it's not to justify contradictions. Sometimes contradictions are just the sign of things being illogical. But if you are describing something very complicated, then there will be contradictions also. There must be some contradictions coming up. So it's coming up here to show that we are talking about the inconceivable power of the Supreme Lord. So these contradictions here, they indicate the inconceivable power of the Supreme Lord, the inconceivable potency. And Prabhupada here says that at the same time he can appear before us in form of the deity. He speaks about Lord Nrsimha. Here, when the child saint, Prahlad Maharaj, was in the presence of his atheist father, the father asked, "Where is your God?" Right? And then Lord Nrsimhadev appeared from within the pillar. Hare Krishna. So he has the power. He has the power to appear. When he appears? When the devotee approaches him with surrender. He approaches him with surrender. So you may remember yesterday we said that this is the prayer that attracted Yagya to protect Manu. So these two mantras describe the inconceivable energies of the Lord, who is not seen even from up close by non-devotees, but for a devotee, he can appear from a pillar, from nowhere, and he can be very close. He's immediately there for a devotee, as he appeared as Nrisimha to Prahlad Maharaj, to show his inconceivable power, his contradictory power, and he has reconciled all the contradictions that Hiranyakashipu brought up to prevent Nrisimha from appearing and killing him. So he can do this. Okay, so that's our Lord, who has this power, who is beyond the material influence. And then the next two mantras describe the practice of meditating on this Isha in everywhere. So maybe we can read mantra 6, and then I will ask for questions, and then we will gradually conclude. So let's chant mantra 6. Yastu sarvani bhutani atmanyevanupasyati sarvabhuteshu chatmanam tato navijugupsate. He who systematically sees everything in relation to the Supreme Lord, who sees all living entities as his parts and parcels, and who sees the Supreme Lord within everything, never hates anything or any being. So that's the vision of the person who worships, that's the vision of a person who worships this Isha, this Supreme Lord, who walks and who doesn't walk. So in the beginning we systematically see. So this refers, Prabhupada says this is a Mahabhagavata, so this refers to someone very advanced, right? See Krishna everywhere. That's someone like Prahlad Maharaj, someone who is Uttama Bhagavata, right? Uttama. But here you can see Srila Prabhupada speaks about the 3 levels. He says 3 stages. The Supreme Lord's presence is realized in 3 stages. The Kanishta Adhikari is in the lowest stage of realization. He goes to a place of worship, such as a temple, church, or mosque, according to his religious faith, and worships there according to scriptural injunctions. Devotees in this stage consider the Lord to be present at the place of worship and nowhere else. They cannot ascertain who is in what position in devotional service, nor can they tell who has realized the Supreme Lord. Such devotees follow the routine formulas and sometimes quarrel among themselves, considering one type of devotion better than another. So that's the description of Kanishta, the first stage. But this is already a stage of realization. They already systematically try to see God. So they go to a place where they can see God, meditate on God, and that's glorious. That's very good. We like to laugh, oh, Kanishta, right? But this is already the first stage. We have to begin somewhere. That's a good beginning. Yeah? We all begin somewhere. And then Madhyam Bhaktas, they do 4 things. Yeah? They see the Supreme, they see the devotees, they see the innocent who have no knowledge, and they see atheists or demons who are very hostile, very inimical. They try to attack, and so they differently relate with these different categories. But what I wanted to say that this is a practice already. we systematically see. So we should regularly go to a place of worship. Regularly. At least every Janmashtami. That was a joke, okay. Better more often. But that's already regular, regular visits. But also we try to see the devotees and make friends with the devotees. So that's higher. Okay, any questions here? So we have had the principle of Ishavasya. We act remembering, so we offer and then take what Krishna gives. And then this is Krishna who walks and doesn't walk. So these contradictory descriptions are given. He is inside and outside. He is far, very far, but he is very close. Yeah? So sometimes do you feel that Krishna is very far? Yeah? And sometimes do you feel that Krishna is very close? Yeah? And it's not a geographical position. It's not based on our geographical positions or location. So it's based on our consciousness, devotional consciousness, and level of this vision of seeing Krishna. Either we see him only in some official place, church, temple, or a mosque, or some official place, place of some worship, and this is very powerful. And this is certainly already definitely a place where Krishna distributes his mercy. Or we can see where some devotional service is being performed, and in the devotee association. Or we can already try to meditate on Krishna's presence everywhere and at all times. Everywhere and at all times. So this is, I think, also what we were doing during the Nectar of Instruction course also, right? We were trying to do this meditation that is recommended, systematically see. So can you please look at everybody, every person here, and think Krishna is in his heart. This is Krishna's temple. This is Krishna's temple. This is Krishna's temple. This is Krishna's temple. Krishna's temple. Krishna's temple. Also Krishna's temple. Krishna's temple. In the heart. Krishna is in the heart. Krishna is in the heart. Krishna is in the heart. Okay. Yes. So we meditate. We meditate. Okay. So this is for the whole day. Okay. You can notice how everybody starts smiling. I don't know. This is there's some side effects to this. I don't know why. Somehow side effects are produced. So this is for the whole day. We systematically see. At least sometimes we try to remember. Okay, Krishna is in everywhere, in everybody. Of course, also even in the immovable trees and in other immovable objects, everything is controlled and pervaded by our dear Lord, by our dear Krishna. So the more we remember this, the more we meditate like this, the more we will advance. And if we are advanced in this systematical vision, then the result is navijogupsate, never hates. One doesn't hate. One doesn't hate. One is not afraid. One doesn't criticize unnecessarily. Means doesn't criticize. Doesn't treat with negative feelings, because everything we are able to see how everything is in Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So we try to convert our imperfections into connection with Krishna. So if we have imperfections, we can cry for Krishna's help. We can cry for connection with Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. And we can try to meditate how Krishna is present in all situations and in all persons, especially in his devotees. Hare Krishna.
Demigods, and
yes,
it's not like so connected, not just partially to the jiva, because also you were saying, thank you so much first of all, for that beautiful, wonderful class. And I'm a little bit confused. I mean, it's not clear to me. I just read this week story about Vritrasura from Srimad Bhagavatam, and that it's
Vritrasura,
and it's a couple of times mentioned, that how Indra, it's just a position in Srimad Bhagavatam. It's just a position, and other personalities.
Different personalities
They
fill it.
just
Yes.
take the post. So how is it? Is it like that all demigods are just posts?
Yes.
Or
All demigods are posts.
even Lord Brahma?
Even Lord Brahma.
I see.
You can become Lord Brahma or Lord Indra. Not recommended. You can bypass and go to the spiritual world, but everybody can.
So all these 33
Yes,
million, they're all
yes,
posts.
Yeah, they're all posts. Yes.
I see. So not personal names.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. They have names too. Like our Indra is sometimes called Shatakratu. I think Purandra is like personal name is Purandra. Indra, it just means this supreme king. Like this.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
And they rotate. They change every day. Some demigods change every Manvantara.
Yeah.
So the eighth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam will describe it. And Krishna is beyond. So Krishna is in the spiritual world. So in the spiritual world, so Krishna, that's the eternal. He's eternally the supreme Lord.
And Lord Shiva is also like Vishnu, like Lord Vishnu. He's just the one.
Lord Shiva, there are also sometimes there are such qualified jivas that they can even do the service of Lord Shiva, of destroying this universe. But this is very rare. So our Shiva is not a jiva. Our
Yes.
Shiva is an expansion of Vishnu.
Yes, yes.
So usually this is an expansion of Lord Vishnu.
Okay. Thank
Because
you.
no qualified jivas who are willing to do this service. So therefore he expands.
Thank
That's also explained in Laghu Bhagavatamrita by Rupa Goswami. Nice book.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyavacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo